Welcome to the first episode of RenoTalks, where we talk all things home renovation. My name is Kim and we're coming to you live from the Commune Home Experience Center here at Liat. And I'm so excited to introduce you to Ohmyhome Senior Interior Designer, Demi. Thanks for joining us today,
Hi everyone.
Demi.
Hi Kim, thanks for having me here today.
Congratulations on the launch of the home renovation. I know you're super busy with that. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, thank you. Actually, it's really a fun experience so far. So we have launched Ohmyhome Renovation just this year, but we have gathered together an experienced team here at Ohmyhome. Just a little bit about myself maybe. I actually have been in interior design for about 6 years. I've done residential projects like condo, landed, and even HDBs.
It's all about beautifying that space.
Yes, that's right. So with every project that I've done, I think I have enjoyed every process so far. Mainly because it's really about the relationship that I've built with the client and the journey that we go through together. It's really every corner matters. Even getting to know from what the client likes to what the client don't like. And even knowing where they want to put the rice cooker in the kitchen. So like home renovation can be a really exciting journey, especially if it's curated for your family and your partner. It's really an interesting experience.
It's all about the intricate details. But for me as a first time, I'm new to this. So where would a typical customer begin? What can customers expect when they engage Ohmyhome Renovations? Could you perhaps walk me through the whole process?
Sure. So when a client engages our renovation services, I'll typically ask them 5 key questions to get started. Whether it's via phone calls or Zoom or even meetups, whichever is convenient for them.
All right. And where do we first begin? Like, let's say we have met up. What's the first step?
Okay, so my first question to them is, do you have a floor plan?
I actually do.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so something like this.
So with this floor plan, it's actually really helpful for me because it helps me to explore the space a bit better. And it gives me a better visual of the whole space. And with this floor plan, we can later create a 3D perspective for the client so they can visualize the whole area better, whether is it a living room or a dining. With this floor plan, it's actually like creating an art on a blank piece of canvas.
Wow.
So it's really like the key to kickstart your ideas or your thoughts, just on this piece of document.
Are there any factors to consider, such as the size of the family, perhaps?
So that comes to the size of the family, which is my second question. So knowing the size of the family can actually determine the size of how you want to plan the space, like the number of bedrooms, or you may want to hack certain walls to enlarge the space, or you may even want to cater to certain groups of people. Like maybe for your children, whether you want child-friendly design, tables like that. Yeah, like
curved edges, not dangerous.
Yes, that's right. Or maybe even elderly, so they may want to go more for practical users. Sometimes getting out of the bed, it's a bit more difficult. So maybe like a height,
so the height and the ergonomics really plays a part apart from the aesthetics. So Demi, you mentioned hacking of the walls, but why would people want to do that?
I have instances where my clients bought their first property. They usually are a little bit more ambitious about the design of their first home. They always like to hack the entire wall in the house just to open up the space a little bit, giving it a little bit more open concept.
Okay.
Yeah. So
especially if the white walls open up that space, right?
Yes, that's right. On the other hand, if you think about future planning, it's always nice to have a spare room, like a guest room or study room that could be converted into your baby's room or kid's room
or
for the future. Yeah, that's right. So it's actually really more functional and good for growing family situations.
Right. Very versatile and leaves space for change in case you go through different milestones. I guess, since you're here in Commune and it's really about furniture, maybe as an interior designer, could you tell us how important are certain furniture pieces important to planning for your house?
I have clients who like to host, so they usually have a big dining table or an island in the middle of their living room.
Nice.
Yeah, so they have their friends and family to come over and mingle and spend time around the table. So this is really like a communal space for them where they can actually spend most of the time interacting with each other. So it's a really perfect place for hosting.
It's all about
Yes.
setting the ambiance, dressing it up
that's
pretty.
right.
And that's your job with Ohmyhome Renovations as well.
Yes. You know, Kim, there was like a period of time where there was this trend of large raw wood tables in the cafe. And you can find them like once you enter the shop. And it's very inviting to me because it's all natural wood, raw wood that it's really in this large slab piece, right?
Right, touch
in there.
feel,
Yeah,
and it makes all
correct.
of that warmth come through, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, as compared to glass, it's actually a lot more warmth and homely to be able to feel and gather around a table like
Correct.
this. And you can even add chairs around, you know, with different colors and mix them together, and it still matches wood.
It's all about having fun and
Yes.
playing with the textures and throwing in your own personality.
Yes,
I guess
that's
that's where you come in and advise your clients. So Demi, you mentioned hacking walls, but is it a thing when people merge bedrooms? Do people do that nowadays?
Yes, they do. In fact, I have some clients, they prefer to open up the space in the bedrooms, and by removing a wall in the bedroom, they actually create more storage, whether is it a walk-in wardrobe or just having a big bedroom to themselves. So for some people, it's less about losing a room, but more about gaining functional spaces in their
Wow.
room. Yes.
So Demi, in this whole process, are there certain walls that we have to keep?
Yes, so for some clients, they may prefer to keep certain walls in their house, mainly because they may want to keep some privacy with their kids, if they have parents coming over, just to have a little bit more,
Separate space?
yes, personal space in their bedrooms. Also, do you know that, you know, by removing a wall in your unit, it actually may reduce the value of your home. So
Do you mean like if I have a 5-room flat and I remove one wall, it becomes 4 rooms, I can only sell it as a 4-room flat now?
yes, that's right.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yes, that's right. So these are things that you may want to consider when you're designing your home.
Right. So on to the next question. What would you usually ask them, Demi?
So usually for the next question, I'll ask is whether you're doing a major or minor work.
Okay, so how major is major and how minor is minor?
So major works usually are hacking out the entire wall in the unit, you know, whether it's the floor tiles or the wall tiles, or even doing the entire electrical works or ceiling works, even carpentry works. And for minor works are usually typically like a repainting of the house or touching up certain areas of the walls, even just fixing up small areas, maybe a small cabinet and stuff like that.
And why is it important to ask about whether a client wants to do major or minor works?
So for major and minor works, it's really important to ask because it really gives me the basis as to how much I have to recommend or suggest to the client.
Timeline, I guess.
Yes,
as well.
exactly. So with this information of doing major and minor works, I could actually come out with the rough timeline. When can I actually complete the job for the client?
Right. So then the client can expect when is the move-in date, how much time I have to plan all these and
Yes,
prepare.
That's right.
Demi, based on timeline, do you have any projects you could perhaps share with all of us?
Yes, so it really depends on the profile of the client. For a condo project, usually if it's a resale condo, maybe you spend about 100K to 150K on the entire house, but really depending on the design and the size of the family. So for this project I've done, basically we clad the whole walls with carpentry, and you know, we really hide the storage, and when guests comes over, they don't even know that these are like storage.
The hidden closet.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's one tip to expand your space and increase function.
Yes, that's
Right.
right. In this other case, where it's a HDB mansionette, we actually hack out the entire wall and even the flooring we changed out. Really open up the space to really let natural light come into the space. It's a very different take. So for this HDB project, could cost around 50 to 80K.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is really on a scale, like, you know, however much you're going to do, then in proportion, it would cost a little bit more.
Yes,
And
exactly.
take a little bit more time, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like our designs are really customized to the client, whether it's a big scale or a small scale project. I think every little corner matters. So the size of the cabinets and everything, it's really customized to the needs of the client.
So Demi, we just discussed HDB, but how about those resale flats that probably have about 20 years of age on them?
Yeah, so usually for the probability of those resale flats, they may be a little bit more worn out in terms of, the tiles.
Right.
But also, it really depends on the clients. Some clients, they may prefer to keep certain tiles.
Like the new and old.
So it gives it a little bit more of an old school vibe. And just choosing furnitures just to add on to the space so that it can complement the old school vibes.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a MOP unit that is recently, maybe renovated by the previous owners, you probably may just want to work on certain areas of your home, like more essential areas, like your bathroom or maybe your kitchen. Those are areas that you actually visit in most of the days. So these are essential areas that you may want to work on. These are areas that you see every day when you return home, right?
I spend most of my time there.
Yeah, exactly. So, the real question is, what is the kind of experience that you want to get when you return home from work? Whether is it going to your bathroom under this rain shower system or looking in this concrete looking tiled floor in your bathroom, that makes you feel really zen and peaceful the moment you return home from work, especially with what's happening right now in the world, right? It's so fast paced and you just want to relax and chill in your nice
own
nest.
enclave.
Yes. You can really get inspired anywhere, literally, when you go to cafes or restaurants and you see like nice Peranakan floors, and you may think to yourself, you want that in your bathroom, right?
I could.
You could, but do you really want that every day? Like, if you see it every day,
I
you
think
get sick of it.
it really depends on different people's styles and lifestyles.
Yeah.
So I guess, is that the next question you would ask them, whether they have a lifestyle or trend or style in mind?
Yes, that brings me to my next question, which is, do you have a style in mind? So most people, they actually have an idea of what they want, and it's very fun as we build our ideas on top of it. They may come from Pinterest, print screen of the Instagram inspirations, and it's very helpful for me, so I can actually follow closely to what they have in mind.
Right.
Yeah.
But what happens if the client isn't very sure of what style they want? There's so many different styles. How would you best help them?
So I usually have a casual talk with them on what they like and just showing them pictures, of what I think that may suit them. And they usually may gravitate to a certain photo that they like. And that's when, I kind of know what they are more in line with. And literally you could get inspiration from anywhere. Maybe you see a cool chair and you want it in your house.
I'll just take a picture and I'll send it your way, and you know how to
Correct.
match me to my style.
That's right.
Demi, what do you think are some popular interior design trends that we should all know of?
So I think having colors in your house, very neutral colors like grey or blue, these are colors that you can associate with the sky or the ocean. For me personally, I really love the ocean. So I always have the ocean as my inspiration. Having these colors are very balancing in a house.
It's very relaxing as well. You can imagine the blues and the calm hues.
It really helps you to unwind
Right.
sometimes just looking at these colors. And I think open concept is a really incoming trend. Opening up the space is, especially for the current situation that we are having right now, it really helps to feel more spacious and less claustrophobic in your house. A lot of the people that are working from home, they would love to have more interactive space within the house, but also have their own corners, study space. So it's really nice to have that.
So now let's go on to styles. Demi, do you think you could show us some pictures of different styles that you recommend?
Sure. So here are some of my best picks. So the first one is the modern contemporary. So modern contemporary is defined by simplicity with its subtle sophistication and usually with structural lightings. It's really no clutter, neutral wall and clean lines. So to me in this picture, it's very clean look with hanging lights in the living space, usually with very high ceiling and tall curtains that you can see. You know, really a lot of natural lights coming into the space. With its soft finishing, you can see that their furniture of the detail is very slim and very subtle. It just adds on so much on the space. And the next one is the Scandinavian.
I love this one.
Scandinavian incorporates natural elements like light, bright wood and light solid colors like white finishing on cabinets, along with houseplants and very clean lines. So as you can see in this picture, it's really a lot about solid colors with a little bit of light wood. It adds on a little bit of brightness in the space, you know, with the houseplant along at the side. This really opens up the space a lot more. And usually I like to add a little bit of lights in the cabinet, so it really enhances the cabinet, you know, just like an art on a wall. For the third one, it's Minimal Zen.
So Japanese.
Yes, and this is my favorite one. Minimal Zen is making use of the natural material, touches of concrete that is cold and peaceful, and a lot of play in the pattern of light and space. Overall, very relaxing, contemplative, and visually balanced and appealing. The next point, which is the retro eclectic. Retro eclectic is all about harmony and coming together of contrasting colors and textures. So in the mid-century, you know, they usually like to do cool arts and bring out a lot of the geometric shapes. You know, adding statement furniture like the dining table or chairs could really make the space look really good.
So Demi, you know, once you decide which style you like, today we talk about 5 different styles. What's next? Like, what is the next step that I should take as a client?
So this brings me to my last point, which is budget. Budget always sets me from asking, you know, the clients the last part, because I don't want to restrict the clients from sharing me their ideas or the thoughts, you know.
Because money is a big factor.
Exactly. So like once I bring out budget, then it kind of restrict them from telling me what they want. Yeah. So my job here is really to help them envision what they want, and also, you know, just to follow as closely as possible to bring out the house that they want, you know. So a lot of the times, those photos that are taken from Pinterest, they are usually taken overseas. So the space is bigger over there. Whereas in Singapore, the properties are very expensive, and you know, the hardwares are usually very limited. So this is where I come in to advise. You know, I extract the concept that the client liked and put them together. So budget shouldn't hold you back from achieving your dream home. There can be materials that I could substitute from one to actually achieve the similar outcome. And you know, I also usually don't recommend the clients to have all built-ins if, you know, they want to save some costs. Sometimes buying off the shelf could also complement the space.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what we saw today at Commune. You could play around with different furniture pieces and still really come to the style that you advise.
Yes. It's really just mix and match and putting them together in a piece. And this is why we come in as a designer to come and advise them.
So I guess, like, you know, we learned a lot today, but most of us might not know exactly what goes into a renovation package.
So generally, a renovation package, it consists of design and build, and as well as project management. These are things that really help you to save time if, let's say, you know, you're busy, and we will help you to coordinate with your contractors, your suppliers, and
it's really like a one-stop shop.
Exactly.
So everything you do, you just call Ohmyhome Renovation and it's done.
Yeah, it's really a one-stop shop.
But I guess this is something that we can talk about in the next episode, right, Demi? So tune in the next time to find out about home renovation package. So we've come to the end of the very first episode of RenoTalks. We want to thank all of you for joining us today. Thank you so much, Demi, for sharing with us all of your knowledge. I'm sure there were many takeaways. But don't forget to tune in the next time for the second episode where we talk about the renovation packages. In the meantime, if you have any questions at all, don't forget to tune in to our social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. or drop us a call at 688-69009. And that's it from us today. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye!